This meeting is being recorded.
Is it really?
Well, that's what that robot voice said. Said this meeting is being recorded.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah,
Well,
there we are. There we are
for the
online.
sake of posterity, I guess we'll let it be recorded.
So everybody's watching us right now. They're just watching our two floating heads go.
Do they
go
hear?
back and
Can they
forth.
hear us? Have we got sound?
I
Have
think
we have
that, Pastor, I
audio?
think that they can hear us. I think that they can both hear us and see us at the same time. It's a full
Good.
visual experience. So how do we use this great power that's been bestowed on us here on the internet? What should we talk about? What should we do?
I don't know. I'm running off of my hotspot because we've been out of internet here since August, it appears.
Really? Now because you went up to the mountains, is that right?
Yeah, we're up in the mountains. And evidently the internet's been out since August, and we've got to, as soon as I get off of this, I've got to call and figure out. The internet company sold itself to another company. You know how this stuff goes.
I know.
So I don't know what the deal. We've been paying the bills, so I'm going to tell them I deserve somewhat of a refund.
That was my first question. I know that you have a history of delinquency.
Yeah, well, you know, I can't get Debbie to pay her bills. No, I'm going to ask for a 2-month refund because we've been without it for 2 months.
Well, I think that's I mean, they usually do that. We've had that happen with us before, where it just goes out and they say, well, we're just going to give you a credit. And, you know, I go from being all mad to being like, okay, well, I'll stick with y'all for another little bit.
Yeah.
But you're
it really is hard up here in the mountains to get coverage. It's, you know, I happen to be in the right little place right here that I can get a signal from AT&T and from the internet.
Well, whatever you do, don't move. Just stay. Yeah. Just hold.
Be frozen.
But you're up there. But you emailed me about this because you're getting ready for your final dissertation defense.
Yeah, we were to be in Greece. We were to leave today for Greece.
Oh, and, that's right.
We've moved that to March of 2022. And I just kept the time that I'd already scheduled to be away. And you know how the Lord just works all things perfectly. As soon as I moved the trip to March of next year, I got a note from the PhD department that they had scheduled the defense of my dissertation to the 14th of October. Normally I would have been, or I had planned to be in Greece at that time and would have had to have moved it, but I can do it. I can fly from here to Fort Worth, and on the 14th of October, I go in at 9 a.m. They've got 3 hours scheduled. I think it's going to take them 3 hours to beat the fire out of me.
The 14th. Yeah, you said you were nervous about it. Yes, you said that.
Yeah, well, sure.
I just can't imagine what you even look like nervous. What gets you nervous? I guess
this,
just this.
Right
That's
here.
It. That's the only thing.
Look.
that and trying to do the bills with your wife, right?
Yeah.
Man, I get nervous for those family financial meetings. I know.
Well, we don't. Hey, listen, take it from somebody who's been married for 42 years. Don't have financial meetings. Just give her the checkbook and let her take care of it.
That's pretty much where we're at.
Don't ask any questions. Don't ask a question. When they walk in the door with something, don't say, how much did you pay for that? Don't do that. Just say, honey, did you get yourself something?
That's right.
You know,
it's a similar thing to like,
it looks nice.
That's right. It's a similar thing.
Hey, listen, let me tell you, ignorance is bliss. It really is.
Don't take that one out of context from Pastor.
Ignorance is bliss. When you don't know, you don't know. And it doesn't matter. You remember Daffy Duck?
Oh, do I ever?
Cartoons,
yes.
The Looney Tune cartoons, Daffy Duck. Do you ever see the one where he's married and all he does is say, yes, my love, yes, my love, yes, my love. Well, that's what I do to Debbie. I just say, yes, my love. You know, there you go. Happy wife, happy life.
Husbands, live with your wives in an understanding way.
Understand. Yeah, just understand.
that you say yes.
Give her the checkbook and don't ask a question. That's the understanding way. That's what Paul really meant to say right there. That's translation. See, that's in the Greek. You wouldn't know that if I hadn't told it.
No, yeah, I need to know. I'm only a Hebrew guy. I'm glad that you've got the Greek handled for us. You've got that down. You were doing you were having some fun yesterday. You went in deep with the Greek there in 2 Corinthians 8. You were preaching the lights out. Well,
it was so good. The Greek in that is just so. I just sat down, like I said yesterday, and I got on verse 4, and I just read it and reread it because it was so. It's astounding what's being said. The generosity of these Macedonians really defy human understanding. The human heart is not generous. The fleshly heart is not generous. It is all self-absorbed and self-centered and self-focused. And when you see somebody move in an act of generosity, it is an act of God's Spirit moving on a person's heart.
I thought that was the most important point that you made, that like we can't give generously like that unless we've had an encounter with Christ. You even said that at the end of the message. Like, if you're here and you don't believe, we're not looking for your money.
No.
Your heart. God's after you.
It's like I said, it's a dangerous thing for a lost person to give money to the things of the Lord, because it sets up, Satan sets that up as a substitute for your heart. Right. That you begin to think, oh, I can give this and that's all that's required. I give this stuff and that's all that's required of me. And that's, I don't need to give anything else. I can live the way I want to live, never give my heart to Christ because I'm giving stuff to him.
Well, and
I think a lot of Christians fall into that. I think we get to the place to where we think, I don't have to be involved. I don't have to grow. I don't have to be discipled. I don't have to share the things that I'm learning. I don't have to invest in because I'm giving this, and it negates my having to do other things.
That's exactly where we go, because that's what's easier in the flesh. We always try to create these religions for ourselves. Well, if I do this, if I do that, and that's the mystery and also the grace of our relationship with Christ, is that it's not strictly this religion where we do this and we get this. No, it is a relationship. It's based on his grace towards us, and we can't earn any of it.
Well, was it C.S. Lewis that said, our hearts are idol makers? Was it C.S. Lewis or Calvin or
whoever said it was exactly right?
I can't remember now who said that, but they made the comment, our hearts are idol makers. And that's exactly right.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up, I guess, as the Lord would have it. I was listening to this lecture this morning, and the professor went to Psalm 110, and the first 9 verses of that are really interesting. I don't know if you remember it offhand, but it talks about how the people of the earth, they go after these idols of their own creation, and it talks about how they become like those idols, not seeing, not hearing, not going. And and that's obviously those are idols that are made out of wood, but it's the same thing for us. Like if you set your heart to follow mammon, if you set your heart to follow the lust of the eyes and lust, but that's the kind of thing that shapes you and forms you. This is a really different way of looking at stewardship, because it's not the stewardship first, it's the relationship with Christ first, and then it all flows out of that.
Yeah. Well, again, giving your finances or whatever you have to the Lord without giving your heart does absolutely nothing for you. Right. It may win you praise among people, but it does nothing for you as far as the kingdom of God goes, as far as a relationship with God goes.
I wanted to hear maybe a little bit more about well, actually before we continue, shame on me. I didn't say this up top. Just yesterday, the whole day was amazing with the
Yesterday was
baptisms.
one of the most unique days in church I think I've ever had.
We
The
had
crowd was incredible. Did you hear that we had a record number of preschoolers yesterday? Just
wow.
preschoolers. Yeah, my wife came up from the first service. Miss Debbie came up and she leaned over the table. She said, "I'm exhausted." She says, "There are more children down there than I have ever seen." And she keeps the bed babies.
Right.
And she said, she said there was two of us, and she said we needed four of us. And she said there were so many babies there, so many preschoolers. And she said that Hannah told them that they would set a record today for preschoolers. Yeah, which was yesterday.
And
So
she's been
that, and then, we had a new family that has joined the church. And when I say a new family, this is interesting. It's a grandfather, grandmother, son, daughter-in-law, and then their two children were baptized yesterday. And I think sisters and brothers
yes.
of the son have come. They're coming. And so we baptized them, and then Patrick baptized a young adult male,
Right.
and his family they were all there sitting behind me.
It was
And
cool.
then we had the 5 Hispanic, and the last guy was just the jewel,
That was
the
awesome.
older Hispanic man, Nicholas, who came down, singing, "I have decided to follow Jesus," into the baptismal water. And they were all so emotional. You just love it. They were all so emotional.
Yes, there was a joy there that well, it was contagious. We all felt that we were just standing there on the platform, and I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to sing the next song. I was just so
Yeah.
overjoyed and emotional. I was going to say that so we had Nicolas came down and he's singing I have decided to follow Jesus. Before he finishes singing it, the whole congregation has joined
Yeah.
with him, which was
Yeah.
beautiful.
It really
And
was. It was so great. You want church to be like that every Sunday.
yes, I wish it could. Well, all we have to do is just get everybody to lead their own song, right? He led
Yeah.
his own song,
Yeah.
then you came out and sang for the response, which
Yeah. Yeah.
I always love.
Yeah.
I always love that. So I was grateful to be only one of 3 worship leaders yesterday. It was a really unique day. I think you said we had some new people come forward to join the church.
Yeah, we did. Scott Dawson and his wife,
Oh, wow.
great youth evangelist, came and joined yesterday morning. He and Tara came and became a part of Valleydale, which is exciting to me. This guy has a great national ministry,
Yeah, you were
preaching
saying.
to youth all over the country. I
Yeah,
mean,
you
he
were
goes into stadiums, he goes into baseball stadiums. Like I said yesterday, I don't know if you saw this, but several months ago, he was out in Las Vegas. They had a huge response out there.
I think you told me about that.
Yeah, I was just blown away with the crowds that were there in Las Vegas and the numbers of people that came to salvation.
well, the Lord is still drawing a people to himself. These are trying times, these are difficult times, but he's still working. That's why I get frustrated sometimes when people start talking the gloom and doom and like all these people are leaving the church and we're never going to reach the young people and that sort of thing. And I'm like, anecdotally, I'm still seeing a lot of people come to faith. I'm still seeing a
We're
lot of the
seeing
work.
a lot of the blessing of God at Valleydale. A lot of young people that are coming.
We really are.
Yeah,
I just pray
yeah.
that the Lord, we've got all staff meeting today. So you left just in time because that's going to be a long meeting. But we've got all staff meeting today. And that's just one thing I hope we can lean into is just saying the Lord is really uniquely blessing us right now. Let's not take it for granted.
That's
Steward it
the
well.
point right there. That's the point. Yeah.
Steward it as well as we can. And the one heart thing is a part of that. How do we steward that? Well, we knew that you talked about this and the spirit, you knew that the way to steward this was not by building another building, but rather by just trying to set a vision for what we think God's doing in ministry and evangelism and church planting, and seeing what's possible.
You know, Kirkwood, I want you to stop and think about this. You're a young man. You got a long way to go, barring the second coming of Christ. I don't think you will ever be a part of a church again. I almost can say this with certainty, that has committed to giving 20% of its overall budget to missions.
It's incredible.
So, that's the exciting thing for me. I'm in the final quarter. I'm in the last quarter of my ministry. I don't know what the end of my ministry is going to look like, but I am pushing and trying to lead and guide us to the place to where Valleydale will be a church that gives 20% of its budget to missions. And what an incredible opportunity we have.
It really is. And I guess I feel like it's worth us giving light to a little bit of the path that brought us here. We're almost out of debt. One of the reasons we don't have to build a building is because 20 years ago they built such a helpful facility that was somewhat prophetic in how modern it is. Like, it really fulfilled. So
I would agree.
So it's something that it's definitely we've built to, and now the Lord has given us this opportunity. So I think you're right. It's a unique thing. So many church, it's tough. It's a little bit inside baseball, but it's the executive strategy and that sort of thing with running a larger church can be tough. So much money has to go to just administration or staffing or buildings, that sort of thing, so that the Lord has brought us here. Wow. Yeah, I'm right with you, Pastor, that we could give this much away. It's fabulous.
Yeah. The old saying is true. It's not what you get, it's what you give. And Valleydale is a great example of that. It's a church that is very faithful in its giving. And I just see that we're going to be able to have a great opportunity to direct a lot of funds to do a lot of new work.
I'm excited about that. Well, I'm excited about we're going to continue to dig into more of that as we study 2 Corinthians 8. You had to lay a lot of groundwork yesterday, and
I did to kind of get us. Yeah.
So we've got Brother Dan Hall's going to pick that up this week, and then Dr. Chesney, our beloved Pastor Barry, he'll be picking up the following week. Is there anything that you feel like you missed foundationally that you want to make sure that we understand before we move on to these couple of Sundays without you in the pulpit?
No, I gave a lot of the historical background. You have to understand what this offering is about, which begins really in 1 Corinthians chapter 16, where Paul says, I want you to take up a collection.
Right.
And he's taking up a collection for these Jews that are in Jerusalem that are literally poverty stricken.
Yeah, they're destitute.
And I have to give the background of who they are, because they're two different groups. In fact, if you remember in Acts chapter 6, the Hellenistic Jews begin to complain that the church is only serving the Hebraic Jews, and that they are leaving them destitute. They're leaving them without food. They're leaving them without any of the needs that they have. That's where you get the whole issue of a deacon body. You get 7 deacons out of this.
Uh-huh.
And they are to serve the body of Christ, the church, in taking care of the needs of the congregation. So you have to have all that background there. Well, why are they there? Why are these who are Hellenistic Jews and versus Hebraic Jews, and what are they doing there, and what's going on? So I have to give all that background if you're going to understand about the collection. Then there's an interruption in the collection. It evidently is interrupted, and Paul comes back in 2 Corinthians chapter 8 and says, okay, you got to finish this up, guys.
Right.
We've got to get the money down there. They're really in need. And I've gotten money out of Galatia. I've gotten money out of Macedonia. I need to get your part of the collection, and I need to be able to take it on down to Jerusalem. So you have to give the whole background of all that. I know it was a lot of history yesterday, but if you don't grasp that, you don't really understand what's going on.
Well, it's important. I think you gave light to this. It's important for us to see like how little things have changed in a good way. Like because there at the time they're taking up collection for the people that are in need, and they're taking up collections for missionaries. They're financing missionaries and journeys, and we're doing the same.
That's Third John chapter. Well, there's only one chapter, but John talks about that in Third John. So yeah. Participate, give to these missionaries, and that way you participate in their ministry.
Right. And you talked about that. Well, that was back to that verse 4, how like that's the participation is in fellowship. There's like this synonymous, there's this fellowship angle to the ministry that we don't want to miss out on. And that's why I thought it was good to follow up with your to your message, because we gave that short little blurb about how one BHAM happened the previous week, and you had all these people fellowshipping, having a great time with their life group people as they serve the community. So
hey, I just looked at Ross's note from Moldova.
Oh yeah.
And they've got a good group that's in Moldova, and they were out yesterday after church passing out information to a medical clinic and to something else. I forget what it was. I think it was a Bible study or Bible gathering for children or teenagers or whatever it was. And anyway, the Orthodox priest in the village now has gone to the mayor complaining about it. And so the pastor of the church is going to meet with the Orthodox priest. Anyway, here they are, and they are able to fellowship in the midst of sharing the gospel with people who've never heard anything but the errancy of orthodoxy. So they're getting to share with one another in the struggle there, which really brings about a joy because they are giving themselves in a difficult place, which is exactly what Paul was talking about.
And that's the joy that we want the people of our church to be able to share today.
Yeah.
Like, and that, that's why we invite people to one BHAM, and that's why we have so many service opportunities on Sunday. I tell the creative team this all the time because they're there so early to make the technology and the music happen for Sunday morning. I just, say thank you for giving your time. And usually the reply is, hey, it's a blessing to us. They're way ahead of me with that. Yeah. Well, brother, I should probably let you get back to your prep for your defense.
Well, I'm working at, I'm teaching the men's seminar on New Testament preaching.
That's right.
And that's what I'm working on right now. I'm about to wrap that up. I teach that next week. And then I fly out to Fort Worth for my defense. Do you see the light right here?
Well, your video keeps freezing, but I think I do see a light above your bookshelf there. Yeah, is that the Shekinah?
You see the Shekinah glory shining down on my head?
I figured that was the Shekinah.
Hey, yeah. What can I say? What can I say?
It reflects so beautifully on your head there. I love it. So it's a sign, Pastor. You're going to pass with flying colors.
Yeah. Well, let's hope.
We will hope and pray. We'll hope and pray, but we'll get to talk to you again before that happens, right? Because I'm going to talk to you on next Monday.
Yeah, we'll be together next Monday for a recap.
Okay, well, maybe
we'll sit here and we'll pick apart what Dan does.
Yes.
How about that? That's good. That sounds real Christian, doesn't it?
It'll be a lot. Well, I think what Brother Dan meant to say was that's one of my favorites. That's one of my favorites.
Dan was mistaken at this.
If he would have properly exegeted this here, I'm sure that he wouldn't have said that.
Oh, he is a great exegete. The church loves him, and rightly so. Yes. He has done so much for Valley Dale through the years.
Yes, I mean, for anybody that doesn't know the story, a couple of interims ago, Dan Hall was the interim preaching pastor here for what was it, a year and a half or something like that.
Yeah, and see, he was coming to Jacksonville seeing me, and he kept saying, "Who can I get to come pastor? This is a great church. Who can I talk? Do you know anybody? Do you have anybody? Could you give me some names? And I kept saying, Dan, I don't know who to tell you to go to Valley Dale. I've never heard of that. Anyway, tell me God doesn't have a sense of humor.
It's amazing because 5 years later, you were the one that the Lord called here. That is so interesting.
And he used all of that time with Dan just talking about, man, it's a great church. I love these people, man. If I wasn't called this other thing, I'd go there and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, you know. I just said, Dan, forget Valley Dale and let's talk about what I'm doing here. You know,
you forgot to talk about me, Dan.
Yeah,
bring it over here.
It's so funny. God's got a great sense of humor.
Yes, he does. Well, and I love being able to share some humor with you here on these Monday mornings. It always gets me going before all staff meeting comes and just brings me crashing down. But it's okay. Listen,
just enjoy.
I do. Enjoy. I shouldn't be sarcastic. I do like it. I tell you, these days there's so many celebrations in these meetings. It really is fun to go to, just to hear about all that.
Yeah, we do have good staff meetings.
Yes. Well,
we do have good staff.
We'll miss you in this one today, but happy preparation, and we'll talk to you later.
See ya.